Welcome to Seller Sessions. I am your host today, Sharon Evan, and today I have with me a good friend of mine, Nir Ravev from MarketWise. Hey Nir, thank you for being here.
Hey Sharon, how are you?
I'm good. We both live in Israel, and today it's Independence Day for us. And we should both be drunk somewhere in a barbecue, but instead we're here, which is also fun.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Nira, for those people who don't know you, can you please introduce yourself to the people?
Yeah, of course. My name is Nir, as you said. I am the CEO of a company called MarketWise. We've been working with Amazon for the last, I think, something like 13 years. Started as a seller and grew to be agency. We offer services from A to Z, and we also have a department which deals with appeals, which is kind of the subject we'll discuss today. So this is basically us.
Cool. So at some stage during the podcast today, we will talk about some stuff that I have gone through with Amazon in the past, but you have helped me out a lot when I've had issues with my own stuff. And yeah, so today we're going to be speaking about the ugly side of Amazon, the side of Amazon that most people, the side that most people don't really talk about a lot. And it's a tough subject because there isn't only like one way to deal with things. It does depend on what you're going through, but together we sort of made a list. And I will say, first of all, thank you for coming on. You were supposed to be in a different week, and I was supposed to have somebody else on today, and you agreed to come earlier. So thank you so much at the last minute. I really appreciate it. And we came up with some subjects at the last minute together. So we're going to be talking about today different things that a seller typically will need to deal with. All right. Or different things that a seller could go through. And we're going to do it in a few different sections. The first section will sort of be things that are going on right now, that all sorts of things that people are going through. And then later we'll talk about just things that happen in general, not necessarily right now. We're also at some stage before Prime Day, which is when a lot of shit starts to happen to people's accounts. So we've got a bit of a list. What would you like us to start with? What subject would you like us to start with first?
You know what? Prime Day is coming our way. It's becoming close. We don't know yet when it will come. So I think this is when you called me, I said, it's a good timing for that, because we need to prepare things before the holidays. We already know there are, let's call it the regular, when you're working with Amazon for a few years, you realize there are waves when they clean reviews, when they clean all the problems before, let's call it Prime Day and I don't know, Cyber Monday, Black Friday, before the holidays. So they try to prepare themselves for the holidays. So this is a good time for us also to prepare ourselves. So let's just start and discuss things.
Cool. So let's start off with something that I've recently seen a lot of people complain about, which is having reviews wiped out. Recently, let's start off with that subject first.
So we saw that in few groups, and even in your group, people just waking up in the morning and realize they lost 500, 2,000 reviews suddenly. And this is very typical to this time of the year. And I would say there is something to do. It's not a lot. Hi, CB. There is something to do. It's not a lot, and it's very easy. If you work according to the rules, and you will see today that I'm trying to work according to Amazon rules, and everything is organic, don't be scared to call them and say, okay, everything is mine. I've been doing that. Please check again because I've lost it. And we saw many cases in which reviews returned. However, and this is huge, however, if you dealt with, let's call it the grayish side, rebates, or groups in Facebook, or friends who are doing things or helping each other. Don't go this way, because Amazon will find you. They know they are familiar with everything we know. They know as well.
They know.
Yeah, and don't be in a position that will blame you in manipulation. So if you know that you've done according to the TOS, TOS is terms of service. We'll hear it today a few times. If you've done your work, then it's no problem to approach Amazon and ask to get your reviews back.
So what you were saying is, and it's very common. So what you were saying was just before certain times like Prime Day, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and all sorts of important dates that sometimes can come up.
Yeah.
We will see Amazon doing a cleanup, where one of those cleanups sometimes is as if like they do they sweep away heaps of reviews for all sorts of people, and it usually comes in waves during the year.
Exactly.
And right now we're seeing wave number 1, right?
Yeah.
Well, maybe there's already been a wave this year, but there's another wave right now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. And if you remember, during last year, during Black Friday, Cyber Monday, they had like a huge problem of variation. So if you're also doing some kind of manipulation with variation, clean it now before Amazon will find you. So this is another like a nugget or whatever.
Are you talking about how they separated variations?
They did separate it, but they also had like policy violation in your account. If you've done it a few times, they would accuse you with policy violation. So variation. Let me find like if there you can do things, manipulate the system. Have few products together which are not real variation. And in this case, they kind of know these days, and they will remove it. So
you're talking about people trying to take advantage of looking as if they have a lot of reviews, putting random products that they have together that shouldn't be part of like a family ASIN. And they, so I remember last year.
Many reasons to do that.
Yeah, Amazon last year separated some of my reviews for products that should be, like they're entitled to be part of the variation. And we've got Panette here, I think, who's also watching us. And I'm pretty sure it even happened to him. And one of the solutions was to upload a flat file, and it sorted it out. But what you were saying is something that's interesting, was if you've done everything by the book, as in your reviews should be there, as in you haven't manipulated the system, you haven't paid people for reviews. If you've done everything by the book, woken up one day and seen tens of reviews or hundreds of reviews, or for some people, thousands of reviews suddenly missing, don't be afraid. You can actually open up a case with Amazon and ask. Now, how effective is this? Because I know that there are many people that would be hearing this and say, oh, Amazon doesn't give a shit about us. They're not going to do anything. So how effective is this method to actually open up a case and say, hey, Amazon, we've done nothing wrong. Please, have a look again.
As a point of view, if you're saying that upfront, it's not a good way. It's not a tool to work with. Yeah, sometimes it's hard. So file it again. Make sure somebody is hearing you. Call them. If you're on the positive side, don't be worried. Okay, it will take you some time. That's remember that you're working with a huge company that has tons of problems. You're not the only child of it, let's call it, and they have their reason. Don't be angry about them. Just make sure that they hear you, and do whatever that needs to be heard.
So, when you say they have their reasons, you mean sometimes the algorithm randomly decides stuff, and then you now need to just come and say, "Hey, look, this is a mistake. please investigate it. So what you're saying is don't just accept it and say, oh, okay, they've deleted half of my reviews. If you know you didn't do anything, open up a case and try and fight it.
Just be sure that you understand that you cannot fool them. They know, they have tons of information. We'll discuss it later on, but they usually check, I don't know, 2-3 points and just decide after having few reasons. It's not just one reason and you're being blocked or something, whatever. It's not. They have their system. It's a very good system. You need to understand that you cannot manipulate the system as well. So just be sure.
So something else that we have, so speaking about Amazon doing a cleanup, we have seen, and I say we because, we both sell on Amazon, and also we both work with many people in a different way of services. So we've both seen many different scenarios in the last month or so with all sorts of different things. So reviews, de-indexing, related accounts, images. So let's move on to some things that we've both seen when it comes to de-indexing. We've seen a lot of people randomly lose index. I was on a coaching call the other day and actually asked you to hop on because I wanted you to see, I thought I found the reason why the guy may have been de-indexed, but I wanted you to hop on and see if maybe you're seeing something that I'm not. So let's talk a little bit about different things that we've seen, specifically probably in the last 2 or 3 weeks, where people have suddenly lost their index. So different reasons that we can see that.
So I would say this is connected to the Prime Day, but it's also Amazon way of doing things better for them. So we know that, we all know the TOS, again, what is allowed, what is not allowed. Emoji are not allowed. All caps in bullet points are not allowed. And usually, and there are many other things that we can speak about, but usually we're just saying, okay, it's okay, they don't pay attention, but they do pay attention. They started to pay attention to main image. Main image is becoming very, reasons for being removed, but they are not. Now you're being removed. I've seen few cases, or many cases even, of people who had a problem, not a huge problem even, in the main page. Just try their, trying to gain some kind of advantage, and they've been removed, and then you're not being released again. You need to file POA with Amazon, explain what was done, how you fix it, how you avoid it, how you will avoid it in the future, and it is
really usually main image
2-3 weeks, and
usually main images, if you have an image,
it used to be
you would get suppressed, and then when you get suppressed, it's 99% you can fix it yourself. So what you're saying is recently you've seen people using an image that's not within TOS and actually get their listing taken down.
Block.
And then the only way for them to get it back is to actually, to open up a case. That's interesting.
It's interesting, and it's even if you will just play with the brand. I told you a few days ago about infringement, and maybe we'll mix this within this point
topic.
So topic. So they're starting to work. In a way, you need to be working according to the rules. It's not just it's not just presenting, let's call it. It's not just about fixing. Now you need to show them that you are working according to the rules. I'm not trying to scare anyone. That's not my way of doing things. But we had, I told you about a company I helped. They had a problem with non-infringement, and we needed to basically release and appeal every product. And it was
because of images.
that wasn't about images. We realized eventually that they used words in the search terms that were not allowed.
Yeah.
In this specific case.
Category.
They were targeting. They were targeting. Let's call it class. Yeah, that was. They were targeting classroom, but I'm a bit worried about saying don't say classroom. You need to say classroom if this is something related
that
to
makes
the
sense to your product.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But if you're just gaining, I don't know, customers while using this word, then it's not allowed. So Amazon are becoming smarter and smarter. But if we're going back to the images, if you'll put, let's say a brand on the photo, which is not belong to you or similar to or whatever you will use, they will block you, and then you will need to appeal. It's becoming harder and harder. And I forgot the first one that we've discussed. It's all caps. So I have another thing that I told you about. They are starting to enforce the all caps. We had a situation.
So just because of the accent, I just want to make sure people are understanding. So we're talking about the all caps, meaning Amazon put up. I don't think that this was always within TOS, but the wave of Amazon suppressing. It wasn't suspending. They were suppressing listings for bullet points. Started sometime like late last year, right? I remember I wrote about it in my group. I think it was late last year. And I said to everyone, if you've got all caps bullet points. So we're talking about when you have your bullet points, a lot of people have, let's just say the first 3 letters as like the heading of the bullet point in all caps, meaning it'll be capital letters. Okay.
Yeah.
And Amazon came and said that you are not allowed to have capital letters, all capital letters, one word is in every word in capital letters. At all in your bullet points. And there was a rumor going around that people were getting suspended. So I let my group and my people know and say, hey guys, just for the safe side, let's change it. But to date, personally, I've never had an issue with it, and I don't personally know anyone that's had an issue with it. Apart from you did say that you did have a problem with it.
So I can tell you about it. We played with a colleague of mine has said something about using Unicode. Unicode is a way of, let's say, controlling the fonts. You can change the font, you can make it bold, and it's supposed to be within Amazon rules, kind of, again.
I mean, we spoke about this earlier today. So I have, if you look at my videos on YouTube, on my favorites bar, I have Unicode. It's like the last thing, because I use Unicode for like Instagram and for Facebook. And I mean, I know that it's against terms of service using Unicode. So for anyone who doesn't know, let me just quickly look at what the website is fully in full. It's called, I use Unicode Text Converter. That's what I use. That's what it's called. Unicode Text Converter. So, I mean, I know that it's not within TOS. So I don't know who's out there saying it is, but anyway, keep going. You use a Unicode, which changes the way the font looks.
I decided to play with the product and see how it goes, and it was very, very I don't know.
Big mistake.
It was a big mistake, but it was very clear what happened. It was a product that is selling a lot, and immediately it has stopped. So I've waited something like a few days just to make sure maybe Amazon need to re-index it or something, and it was from many units per day to 0 units per day. So it was very clear what has happened, and this is why we are speaking about it. And then I said, okay, let's go back to the all caps in the bullet points. And nothing happened. Basically, nothing happened. It was nothing was changed. It was continuing to be very, very slow, I would say, not typical. So you said maybe this is because of the ranking, and that's something I can agree, but maybe, and then I decided that I think that I need not to play with Amazon and just change it to, I don't know, regular letters instead of all caps. And then immediately we noticed the change, immediately within an hour. So I know from, I don't know, my experience that this is something Amazon are enforcing. So yeah, I agree with you. It's not something you see every day, but I saw it and I felt it really good. So
You also deal with part of your service is helping people with appeals and suspensions and things like that. So you deal with this on a regular basis. But things that I have seen recently is people have made changes to their backends or made changes to their listing, and sometimes it's been a tiny little change, right? Like just a small change, and boom, the next day they've been de-indexed for, and de-indexing means you're losing your ranking, guys. Like you have to be indexed in order to be ranked. So it has direct effect on your sales, and it's taken weeks to get them back up. So on the one hand, sometimes on a call, I'll have a look at someone's back end and I'm like, dude, your back end is terrible. You should change I never tell people to change their front end. If they've got a listing that sells really well and it's doing well, it's only if it's just a terrible listing and anyway, they're not selling. So I may say, hey, look, you should really make this change. But usually I'll tell people, if you're listing doing well, you've been up and running for at least 3 months, don't touch the listing, right? Anyway, and I've seen people making a change, changing keywords in the back end, changing their description, changing things in their title, and then getting de-indexed like the next day. And that was also part of the reason I asked you to come on a call with me, that I was trying to help someone. So that's one of the things that I've seen with people getting de-indexed. And regarding the all caps and the Unicode, so I can't remember what it was. I think it was on like the 8th of April or something like that. I actually saw this in a different group, and then you told me about it again today, that Amazon UK, in the UK market, they brought out a news article saying that they are no longer in the UK market currently, they are no longer going to allow HTML in.
So you used the big nuggets of the end now.
We're talking about de-indexing.
No,
so
I agree. It's a good thing to discuss. Well, I've noticed that UK is a market in which Amazon are trying things. So it's not the first time they are trying things. Attributes was the first. It was the first launch in the UK, and this is something I believe they are trying as well. So in their notice, they are saying that if you will use after June 8th HTML, the products will not be shown, or the HTML. It's not really clear, or the HTML will not be shown. So my advice in this topic would be just remove the HTML. Don't play with that. Don't see where Amazon are heading, because basically you're losing I don't know, very important thing. So if you have A+, maybe you will not see it and you will not notice, but the system will see it, and it's not good.
I think that by them doing this, I feel like they are trying to force people to even more make sure that they're brand registered. So
I agree.
a lot of people don't get brand registered, and what they do is they use HTML in order to have bold in the text in their not bullet points,
description.
In their description, and to have spaces between lines in their paragraphs. And I mean, I use HTML, and the thing is, you're allowed to use certain HTML. There's certain things you're not allowed, and there's certain things that you are allowed, and it's in Amazon's TOS. and it was in the Australian Seller Group by Chris Thomas. I've got it in front of me, and it says, if an HTML tag is used in any line of a product description, the line will be removed or shown without HTML formatting, depending on the usage of the tag after June 8, 2021. Now, just again, before anyone panics, we're talking about Amazon UK currently. And what you're saying is that you've seen a lot of times that Amazon will do things like a beta version on the UK market as a test, and then they'll make it global.
I would say I'm pretty sure that this is just the first move, and we'll see it soon. So, because, well, we all use HTML. I would say this is 90% of the sellers.
Agree.
So just don't wait for Amazon to tell you that if you have A+, just remove the HTML. Don't play with them. If you don't have, you can wait, but just prepare yourself, prepare a listing without HTML, so you will be prepared, and see whenever they will say in the US just to remove it. It's not something to play with. It's very easy for them to find it.
Yeah, it's the algorithm. But I would say that, like, my best advice here would be, if you are not brand registered yet, get brand registered. I feel like so many things have happened in the last 6 months. For so many benefits were given out, not 6 months, in the last year, to people who are brand registered. And I feel like Amazon is doing, a really good job at trying to force people to get brand registered, more people to have like actual brands on Amazon. And I feel like this is one step, forward towards that as well by doing, I think descriptions are extremely ugly without HTML. So the only logic, you and I are very logical people. We both always, when we speak on the phone, we're like, okay, let's go with logic. So you and I are very logical. And on a logical level, I feel like the only logical reason for them to really do that is in order to, force people to make sure that they have A+ content. And then if you have A+ content, you don't really necessarily need the HTML in your description, because your description is what gets indexed. So that was, when I saw that, I was like, whoa, that's a pretty big move. So my best advice here would be, to tell people to get brand registered. Now, we've got a lot of people here. Let me just say,
it's so easy, and it's not expensive as it used to be. And with the accelerator, you'll get it within 2 weeks. So
you don't actually need the accelerator anymore. You don't need IP accelerator. You can still today get, without the IP accelerator, you can still get brand registered with your application number from USPTO, or I'm talking about it. I'm talking about Amazon US. I don't necessarily know what happens in the UK and other marketplaces, but in Amazon US, you can get brand registered from the application level without the IP accelerator, meaning you don't need, or you're not forced to use an Amazon lawyer anymore. It's actually been like this for a while. But it was originally, they kept playing around with it. It was originally only through a specific link, and then they took the link away, and then now it's just when you apply for it in general, you can get it. And remember, though, guys that are listening to us, it means that you can get brand registered, but until you actually become registered, you have a registered trademark, legally your trademark isn't, it's not, it won't hold in the law of court. So,
and not all the, let's call it, not all the topics that are, let's say, the benefits, exactly, are working. So you can use the zero program, but it's not always, they will not protect you like as if you have a brand.
You're not protected, but you get the marketing benefits. So you get A+ content, and you get everything apart from Project Zero, as far as I know. I don't know if you get transparency, but you get everything apart from Project Zero, as far as I know, anyway. So get a trademark, guys. Get brand
Yeah.
registered, because at some point you're not going to be able to have the.
And you know what?
the
You know what? There is another reason. If you're not going to get this trademark on your name, somebody else will eventually. So just don't wait with it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep. Great. Somebody, I can't see your name, but Facebook user said, "Hey, Nir, sometimes our top 5-star reviews got deleted somehow, and now our 1 or 2-star review is on the top. How do I deal with that?"
So
their
just to
5-star, some of their 5-star reviews, like the ones that had probably the most likes,
voted. Yeah, the voted. So or I don't know. There's I cannot say find someone who will vote for you, because it's not allowed. But find a way in which in a legal way, it will be shown the 5-star. Yeah. But don't play with the system. Don't use your, I don't know, brother or sister or whatever, your family.
I can say that on some of my own products, we have reviews that are 5 stars that are got more votes than some of the 1 stars. And we do have like 1 or 2 1-star or 1 and 2-star reviews towards the top on products where, it doesn't make sense. So I feel like there isn't, like, the upvoting isn't 100%,
Yeah.
Would you say if they did everything by the book that they should open up a case for those 5-star reviews that they were deleted?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I just didn't want to repeat myself, but yeah, of course. I would start with that. And you know what? There is on Amazon, on the help. We'll discuss it later on. We'll speak about the category. But on Amazon, you can find a place in which you can. I forgot exactly how it's called, but you can ask help to help you. To help you with reviews, and it exists in the Seller Central, but it also exists in the brand.
Brand services.
Yeah, brand services. Which is better, always better. Always use the brand.
I agree. It's I know exactly what you're talking. It's after you go on help on the top right, and then you go sell on Amazon. It's somewhere there about the reviews. I think it's on like under product pages, and then somewhere there you can open up case and reviews. So Sarah asked, what does POA mean? It means plan of action. POA is plan of action.
You know what? Let's have like plan of action. Can I explain a bit about plan of action, because it's something I wrote few posts about plan of actions and why you need to be aware of what does it mean, or how it can be positive but also negative. So Amazon made the POA much easier, because there are 3 different layers in the POA. What was done, the things that you have fixed, and then how you will avoid it in the future. It sounds very easy. However, we need to remember, and I'm with the highest respect to Amazon, I'm saying they think a bit differently. It's not they have like a corporate thinking, while we are thinking like customers. So don't use emotion. Don't use just if you're I would always say discuss it with an expert. It doesn't have to be me. It can be everyone, but someone you trust. But don't use some kind of, I don't know, my friend had the same problem and you've waived it or whatever. It's not helping.
You got to be technical. You got to be technical and straightforward, and you have to take into consideration. And you have to take into consideration that they're reading like, I don't know how many, but hundreds of plan of actions. They don't have time to read a whole freaking book. You got to keep it to the point. This is what, exactly what you said. This is what I've done to fix it.
I understand. I fixed. I will avoid that. And take, you're muted. And take.
There's an ambulance in the background. Yep.
It's okay. It's okay. But I'm alone here.
No, I thought you were in the middle of saying something. Now, just before we continue, Saibi said something, and I just wanted to explain what I was saying. He said, "You don't have any intellect. If you don't have any intellect, you don't have any intellectual property rights if you're not registered in each region that you are trading. Then it is easy for anyone else to register your TM and shut you down or hold you to ransom." And I think that this is an amazing thing to spend like 2 minutes to talk about. And I'd like to share a story very, very briefly and quickly. I've told you very briefly about clients that I have. So I have clients that I've been working with who are selling. They're almost within like 6 months, almost done $1 million in sales off of Amazon, not on Amazon, off Amazon. And then I'm helping them to get on Amazon. And when they came to me, they started selling in Australia. They handmade their products originally. Now they've gone to mass production, and they sell their product also in America, worldwide. Okay. They have these specific clients. They have NBA players buying from them. They have really famous people buying from them. I obviously, and I was like, you don't have a freaking trademark? So something that you always want to take into consideration is, like Saibi said, if you don't have a trademark, especially if you're kicking ass, okay, somebody else will. And if you're selling in, let's just say, if you're selling really well and you're selling on Amazon, off of Amazon, and you're selling well in multiple countries, you need to get a trademark in every freaking country. You need to get one in Australia, you need to get one in America, you need to get one in China to make sure that it's a totally different subject about getting a trademark in China. So I'll leave that for another time. You need to get a trademark in every country that you sell in order to have legal rights so that you can kick people off in general.
Even if you don't have in all markets, at least have one, so you will have evidence.
Of course, you just need to have at least in one. But I agree that it's not that. The fact is that people don't know this. People don't understand. If you're doing sell, we'll stick to Amazon. If you're selling on Amazon in the US and Amazon in Europe, or in Amazon in UK, and you're doing well in both, get a trademark in both. Like, a trademark in the UK is really cheap and really quick. It takes like 2 months. But yes, when I was saying to get brand registered, you get brand registered and you can get brand registry within 2 weeks. But that gives you the marketing benefits. It does not help you legally, okay, or protect your intellectual property in any way until your trademark has been approved. So that I'm just referring what I said earlier. Pinette said, would they block just that ASIN that's the issue, or would your entire account be at risk? This is when we were talking about I think it was images or
I believe if it will be, look, it's very, we don't know. Let's start with that. But I would say in ASIN first. But if you'll do too many mistakes, then eventually they will say you need to work on your account. So
yeah, I think it's important also to understand, Pinette, what you were talking about specifically. Because, for example, if Amazon finds that you were I don't know, like doing review manipulation, which is a huge no-no for one product, and they have evidence for the fact, it'll be your entire account. It won't just be that one ASIN. Like, you can kiss your account goodbye.
And it's really hard. It's really hard to reopen the account. It's doable, but it's these are the hard cases.
So he just said images. He was talking about the images. So no, it's at a per ASIN level. They won't suspend your entire account.
No.
Yeah.
Don't worry, but just fix it. Don't play with that. Always when you have doubt, just make sure that you don't have the doubts.
Yeah.
Just fix things.
Do things by the book. Look, I will say that I was surprised by what you said about the main images. I try and follow Amazon's TOS as much as possible. It isn't always easy because especially when you've got best-selling products, and from left and right, you've got Chinese competitors who are doing manipulating the system in all sorts of different ways, and sometimes it's 20 different ways at once.
Yeah.
And it's hard because you're playing by the book, but it can sometimes affect you in like tens of thousands of dollars by playing by the book. And I have in the past said to myself that, and this is not me giving advice, this is me talking about myself, so no one hold me responsible if you do anything like this, but I have in the past said to myself, I'm willing to do things as long as it's only going to suppress my listing and I can fix it myself. And the images was one of them. So I've had images that are not within TOS in the past, as if when I say not within TOS, it's on a white background, but let's just say I have a model with my product, okay? And this is not me giving advice. I'm talking about stuff I've done in the past, okay? And I've had a listing suppressed because of it, but I've been able to fix it myself like that. Just change the image, you know, and sometimes you may need to do it with a flat file, but I've done it myself in the past. And so I'm surprised by what you were saying, because you were saying as well, wait a minute, they've started to actually suspend the ASIN.
We actually needed to remove all images, approve one image that was approved, and only then file PO. It was really one of the hardest cases of this scenario. Yeah, but I guess, you know,
Catherine,
I'm not.
Sorry.
No, continue.
Catherine asked, do people have to buy your product for the upvote on the review to count? No, they do not. Anyone can upvote, or anyone can upvote, basically.
You know, if you have a group, let's say you're doing some kind of energetic supplements, and you have a group of people who like you can always ask them, you know, and this is kind of okay. If you like our product, just share the information or vote or whatever. Don't do any manipulation. Just, you know, help me help you. This is not me trying to say write review. It's not. I would never go this way.
The wording. Here's the thing. I was looking really in depth into Amazon's TOS the other day because I was working on a project anyway about review and like inserts. And I was reading the Amazon TOS like a freaking, you know, Bible or encyclopedia, and like trying to understand every single word. And, you know, I'm not a lawyer. I just understand Amazon terminology today because of my years on Amazon. And even in my opinion, even the wording, if you were to say to someone, as in if Amazon was to catch this, if you liked my product, then is a problem.
It's not allowed.
You can't use the wording, if you like my product, do something, ever. So just for people to take that into consideration.
No, this is not what I meant. I said, you know, if you have some of our clients have Facebook groups, and and they grew even to be some kind of a guru in their fields, and people like them. They're giving really good information that helps people, so they can just, you know, while having live event or whatever, just help, you know, ask for some kind of a help or love or whatever you'll call it, but don't do it like, never go into manipulation. This is not the right way, and you will be caught. It's very easy.
Cool. So before we get into the juicy subject that I made an entire YouTube video about, which is the ugly side of Amazon video that I did, which was what happened to me last year, let's talk about categories. You've got some updates about category changes.
Yeah, this is something really, really, really nice. So I don't know if people know that, but many products were blocked without any notice to the seller due to adults. And when
it
was flagged. Yeah, it was flagged as adults. But if you go to your seller account, you couldn't see it. It was, the category looked normally as always. Yeah, normal. Sorry. So we realized there is a kind of let's say a way of changing the category. There is, okay, let me explain something before. There is your category. This is something that you can control, and there is the category that Amazon index you. and this is within the system, and it's something you don't have any information about or control.
Yeah.
And basically, even if you speak with the category team, most probably they will not tell you.
Mm-hmm.
However, and this is a really good thing. I don't know. I hear myself twice.
No, you're good.
Okay. There is something within. If you open a new case and then you scroll down and say, I need to have. I forgot the exact wording. It's browse for new option. Then you have all the option. On the product option, it's the second or the third. You will see ask for category change, and then you just need to have your ASIN and the category that you want to be listed under, and this will open a case within Amazon. It's a real case. It's almost similar to, I don't know. It's not a normal case. It's a higher case,
Mm-hmm.
and this will be checked by Amazon catalog team, and will in most cases will be approved, and then this will fix many problems of, let's say, I was in my group, somebody asked me about being accused. I forgot the wording, something with hazmat. This will fix all this kind of problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is actually something that I should have said it earlier as well. So some people have also been obviously lost indexing because their product was flagged in general as an adult product. And what you're saying is that you may not even know. So one of the things that you should also check if your product is suddenly not showing up or there's some sort of problem, I will say that if you suddenly can't find your product on Amazon, the first thing you should do, because many of our listeners and many sellers are not American, like they don't live in America and they sell in America, or whatever country you sell in, first of all, make sure that your delivery address on the top left corner reflects the country that you sell in, okay? That's number one. Number two, something that you can also check is, or you may want to check with Amazon, is maybe you've been decategorized or your category on an Amazon level has been changed or flipped to, for example, like you were saying, to adult. So what you're saying is they can come in and ask Amazon to change the category or to tell them what the category is. Yep.
Yeah, and a nice nugget for that. If you add on the inventory tab, you can add new option or other option. You can add the ranking option.
Mm-hmm.
If the product is not ranked, then you know that you have a problem. So this is something you can use for that.
So here's the thing. I know some sellers who you and I didn't speak about this before, so I'm putting you on the spot. I'm going to say it so everyone knows. I have some sellers that I know quite well who sell really well selling products, like products that sell really well. Okay. And they don't have a category. They've been decategorized by Amazon like a year ago, 6 months ago. They don't have a BSR. Okay. They've got no sellers rank. They are still indexed. They are still ranked in every the keyword that makes sense for their product. And they're still selling. Now, on the one hand, I wish it would happen to some of my products because then other sellers can't try and see, is this product selling well or not? So they won't try and come into our categories. But on the other hand, I've tried to find an issue with this, which I can't. So what about the people who don't have a BSR because they've been decategorized but are still selling their PPCs fine, they're still ranked fine? What about those? Nothing.
They don't have a problem. So it's just, if everything, same as you said about the information, front information, if everything is okay, just don't touch it.
Yeah. Have you seen the scenario that I just explained? Some people that have been decategorized and
not similar, not the same as you're referring, but it's a glitch. It's a normal. That's kind of a glitch that I would imagine in a huge system like Amazon has. It's kind of normal.
Mm-hmm. So moving on, we wanted to talk a little bit about we both sort of are working on with a client of mine that I've sent to you for help. But before we do, let's tell people what happened to me last year on Prime Day, for those who don't know.
I need to prepare for that.
Okay, so I'll keep it short because a lot of people already know about this. So last year on Prime Day, I had some of my products taken down on Prime Day because I'll make it short. There's a long version of this, and the long version is I didn't know why, but the short version is that somebody had uploaded a flat file from our Canadian account, as in the Canadian marketplace, not in the Amazon marketplace. And in the Canadian marketplace, we don't even sell some of these products, as in we don't have an offer on the Canadian marketplace for these products. So it's other people are selling our products for this specific niche that I'm talking about that we sell in. Anyway, they uploaded a flat file with a whole bunch of drug related and medical related, and honestly, the weirdest shit ever keywords. Like there were keywords like lion's air as in a lion, and an air as in your air that you hear from. And all these, like, I can't remember
all the
exactly.
keywords that will remove you.
Poppy seeds, every single freaking keyword. There were like 500 keywords, every single keyword, and they had deleted our bullet points, our description, and our back-end keywords, and changed everything to every possible bad keyword that can flag your product, okay? In the Canadian market, that we didn't even have offers on these products there, and it flagged our US products. And this was done to multiple products at the same time on Prime Day. Okay, now FYI, if something like this happens to you, one of the first things you want to do is upload a flat file to try and fix it. And if you can't fix it, it can take days. It took me a month to fix it, okay, to fix it all. It took me a month, like 3.5 weeks, something like that. So this happened to me last year. And by the way, I'm not going to voice my opinion on this, so we won't get into it, but the flat file was uploaded from within our account because, and this is what Amazon told me, and I can't remember if you and I spoke about this, Nir, but
we did.
When you go into your account in Amazon, if you see a flat file that has been uploaded on your account, Amazon said to me, it means that it came from within your account, right? Now, no one uploaded this freaking flat file. It was not us. And there is no one that has access to our accounts. I don't know if you remember, but I changed every single password I had in every single thing ever. I was calling you and I was panicking, and it was just like this terrible time. Anyway, it's fixed now, thank God, and I hope it doesn't happen in the future. But this happened to me and to many other people on Prime Day last year, specifically in that specific category. It happened to people in other categories, but there were other sellers that I know sell similar products to mine that we had spoken on Facebook, and we'd shared, information, and we all were going through the same thing. So it happened to multiple people at the same time. Just to me, it happened to multiple products, and to other people, it happened to 1 or 2 products. So this was a really shitty situation, right? And currently, I have a client going through something similar but different that I would love for you to share what's happening there.
So without revealing basically anything, the product and anything, so we realized the same ASIN is being used in different marketplaces. But I'm trying to. So in Japan, they are selling in the US, but in Japan it was used for adult product, and with everything different, including the photo, which is usually not the case. And we've really researched why they are doing it. And we realize that these kind of sellers, what they are doing is they just piggyback an ASIN, and when it's being blocked, they just move to the next one. They don't care if you're being blocked, and now you need to tell Amazon that it wasn't you, etc., etc. And when we remove them, they returned, and then they kind of, and it's a process. We've kind of finished it, but we still need to have something be fixed. But basically, what we saw, they are changing. They are constantly changing. In order to get rid of them, you need to have like few waves of removing them and block them, because they have few sellers and few things that they are doing. They can change just the title or add something like you had to the search term that will remove you, because they want you to be removed. They are like they are angry. You've interrupted their plans.
Do they want you to be removed, or do they want to sell the adult product?
They want you not to interfere. So if you are interfering, they will act. So we noticed that we removed them, let's say, for France, and they they changed the seller and changed the title and changed it again. Now we will just block them.
Now I have a question, because now I feel confused. Okay.
Yeah.
I knew about this situation. So this is someone I've been working with for a while. She has a best-selling product that is selling really, really well. And basically what I knew that was happening, because I moved it over to you because it's way beyond me. I can't, I come to you when I have these problems. So she, from what I knew, somebody had taken over her listing in Japan. And I thought they were taking, because they couldn't get Ungated to sell it was like some sort of vibrator or something. What they were doing was using her ASIN in Japan to get sales, so they can sell their adult product. And then once that ASIN has a problem, they're just going to move on to the next one. Is that the situation, or is it a competitor? I'm confused.
No, this is the exact situation. Okay. But why? Because she's not. Let's just like draw what is the problem. So because she's not working in Japan, and
she doesn't sell.
So that wasn't her problem, but she couldn't get her needs. Let's say SDS or whatever in this that she needed, and also all the marketing. Benefits that you get as a brand are being blocked until you clear everything. So this was her problem, if you remember.
Wow.
She couldn't change, and that's the thing that we need now to fix, because even if everything is being cleared, now you need to go back to Amazon and say, okay, everything is cleared, now clear on my name.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, just so everyone knows, if you're, in my experience, and I'm pretty sure you'll back this up, if your product gets flagged in another marketplace, whether it was you or not, it doesn't matter. It will take your product down in every marketplace. So what a lot of the times, black hat sellers do, they'll target you in another marketplace. Now, a lot of people asked me in the past, would the transparency program help with this? And from my experience, because I don't have the transparency program because I think that it's just a pain in the butt. From my experience of going back and forth with Amazon, it would not help with it unless you can.
I've not used it. No. Okay. So, but people will ask you in a second what you need to do. So go to your, if you feel that you have a problem, just take your ASIN with your, let's say, the product link with the ASIN, and check in few marketplaces. It's not so hard. And just make a list one time, and then you can do it within 2 minutes, just like a monthly check or something. And this is what she was doing, and she realized that.
Yeah. So we have a few people saying so. By the way, Tomer was here. Tomer David said hello. Hey, Tomer. Tom Norton, it'll come up in a second. I don't know why. There you go. Tom Norton said, whoa, this is scary. How the heck do they get inside of your account? So this was about the flat file from my account being updated. I have no idea, Tom. That is the big question. I think that it was an inside job, being straight up, because how the hell could anyone upload a flat file from my account when there is no one that could have access to it in any way? I did a lot of research. I came to you, Nir, and I said to you, what if it's a software and what's this? The first thing I thought was maybe it was through a software. Maybe a software had been hijacked, or not hijacked, like hacked. And I even spoke to the specific softwares that had access to that specific account. I spoke to one of them. I spoke to one of the CEOs, and he made it very clear to me that they don't even have permission to upload anything within the account. So I, Tom, did everything that I could do to check how this has happened, and I don't have an answer up to date. Since I made that YouTube video, I did have people reach out to me to want to try and sue Amazon together for a whole bunch of people it happened to. I decided not to get into that route simply because I don't really want or need in my life right now something like that, and it's in the past now, and so I decided to leave it. But I have no idea. And then Saibi said, "Well, Sharon, this is serious shit. I'm guessing that you still have no clue how it happened." I don't. And then he also said, "I believe the transparency program is a labeling system that allows you to see if someone has copied your product of selling it unofficially." That is true. It is. The only problem with the transparency program is that if you need to make some sort of change, you can't do anything until they get back to you. And sometimes it can be 3 weeks, which is a real pain in the butt. So I haven't done it yet, so I don't have an update for you on that. I just don't know also if the transparency program would have helped.
I totally agree with you. It's not. You don't need it at this point, at least. It's not.
I don't know if people need it or not. My point is, I just don't know if it would help. Stopping the specific situation of people being able to make their changes in your backend.
It was changed. So
yeah. So the last thing that we're really speaking about here is if you suddenly see that your product is being taken down, meaning you've gone to Amazon and you're getting a dog page, right? You're seeing a dog page, which, by the way, on Prime Day, I was basically paying all sorts of different influencers to send people to a dog page, which was, awesome. Anyway, if you're getting a dog page, it usually means that your product has been taken down for some reason. And in some cases, if you can't find the reason, it could be what you and I are speaking about right now. We're talking about dramatic stuff here, stuff that happens often to best-selling products, right? To best-selling products. But here, the difference between my situation and my client's situation was that I was being targeted on Prime Day to get me and many other sellers down so that we don't get the sales and the sales go to whoever was trying to do this to us. And with my client situation, it's a totally different story. They're using her ASIN in another marketplace to get sales for some sort of adult product, right? Some sort of adult product. And
not anymore,
but they were, to try and take advantage of the reviews, etc. And then the minute that Amazon takes them down, they're going to go to another one, and that's what they do. They hop from a different ASIN to a different ASIN.
Exactly.
Yeah. Saibi said it's another revenue stream for Amazon. You don't need it. This is Saibi referring to the transparency program.
Yeah.
That was, I think we've spoken about enough stuff. Is there anything else that you would like us to talk about? Should we talk about the GS1 stuff just before?
Yeah, I think let's do it really quickly. And I know you're very passionate about it. So just you.
So Amazon finally came out with a news article saying that, this has always been the case for the last, 3 years anyway, but they've made it official where they've said they only accept GS1 UPC codes or GS1 barcodes. And they're also saying that, from my understanding, from reading what they wrote, that they will be doing random checks, right, from what I understood, to see if your product has a GS1 barcode, and if not, it will be taken down. Now, many people got into a panic attack and were like, oh my God, today I only use GS1s, but some of my products have, UPCs from back in the day that are bought on eBay or whatever. What they want you to be able to do is to prove that you are the owner of that barcode, right? And if you can't prove that you're the owner of the barcode, they're saying that they're going to remove the language. I think on the article was that they will remove the listing from their catalog. Did you want to say something? I can see you're
No,
dying to say
exactly. No. Yeah, I do. You know me.
Yeah, go for it. Say it.
They also said that it needs to be connected to your brand or the category. So this is what.
So when you go into GS1, you can on each what do you call it? UPC number, UPC code that you get, you can fill in all sorts of different information, right? So one of them is the brand, the product, category, a whole bunch of information. And they basically want to see that linked. Now, just a quick note for people that are listening and watching, in my experience, GS1 UK, so you can use GS1 barcodes if you sell in America, you don't have to have a GS1 American barcode. You can buy a GS1 UK barcode. Now, I haven't done a check on what I'm saying now, probably in the last 6 months. So this may have been updated, but as far as I know, GS1 UK is the second least expensive place to get your barcodes. The least expensive is Germany, but you have to understand German, and the German website isn't that user friendly. So if you understand German or have someone who does, you could get GS1 barcodes from Germany, and it will work anywhere in the world, or the UK. And if maybe there've been updates to, because I use GS1 UK, so maybe there has been updates to that.
No, it's still updated.
It's still updated. Okay. So the one thing I will say, for the people like having panic attacks, what do we do now? You can't change. I've never met anyone in my life that has been able to change a UPC code ever. You can bring in a variation, and the variation, can get carried over the reviews and things like that, but you not get carried over the reviews. What I mean is the reviews will be commingled, and if they do take down one of your listings, then at least you have the variation version of it, but it also has its own ranking. But we don't really know of a way to fix this, do we? If Amazon comes and says, hey, this UPC code is not a GS1 barcode,
we spoke, I don't know, a few days ago about some kind of a hack. It's very complicated to explain, but if I need to make things very simple, you're right. Don't play with that, and don't buy from, I don't know,
Speedy barcodes, nationwide, whatever, eBay.
Don't use the main straight road and buy where it's legit and can be listed under your name. That's very important.
I will say that I know that some people have had issues when they've bought barcodes on GS1, where because somebody else has already used that barcode on Amazon, and then there's been no way to fix it. So what a lot of people have done is just gotten GTIN exemption, which is
and you also wanted to speak about the FNSKU.
I wanted to really briefly explain to people so that they know that I recommend that you always have an FNSKU on your product and not your UPC code. And the reasoning for that is many reasons, but the reason for it is because when you have a UPC code on UPC code on your product, the product is then commingled. So if you have a let's just say a hijacker, and they send in stock, and they've also using the same UPC code, your products are going to be commingled together. And then if a buyer buys the product, and what they're given is actually a counterfeit version of your product, and I don't know, something happens to them, right? You're going to be held responsible for it. So you should always have, in my opinion, the FNSKU on your barcode, on your product packaging, which will then give you your own storage unit within the Amazon warehouse. And especially like some of my products have expiration dates. So we have, for different batches, we'll make a new offer, which will give us a new FNSKU. And then if there's a return, it doesn't get commingled with the new FNSKU. So this is just something that many people don't know about. But having an FN SKU on your product will give you your own storage unit for that batch, for everything that's within that FN SKU within the Amazon warehouse. And on an insurance level, on many, many levels, which I won't go on about forever, but I recommend that if you can have your FN SKU, have your FN SKU and not your UPC code. That is what I wanted to say.
I totally agree. And you know what? Another thing, if you will ever, people are worried about it. If you will ever need to make some changes, it's so easy to print labels on Amazon and just, label them. It's not a problem. Don't worry about it. Just use FNSKU. I just agree with you.
Sabi said the moral of this podcast is do not put all your eggs in the Amazon basket, always and forever. The UK is £140 pounds per year for 1,000 barcodes. I think that there was an update in the UK one. In the US one, the US GS one, I think there was an update there on the pricing. I just don't know what it is. Because
if it's true, it's really cheap in a way. Yeah.
Even if it isn't, like, it's the way it is. So just get a freaking barcode. It's part of business. If we do find a way to deal with, just in case, you've got a best-selling product and 6 months from now Amazon comes and says, hey, your product hasn't got a GS1 because it's from back in the days when you only started Amazon and, everyone was doing it, we'll update. But the only thing that I can think of today is to bring in a variation to that product. So let's just say if you sell, I don't know, a product that has like a 2-pack, bring in a 3-pack, or I don't know, something along those lines, or a different shape or something, so that you can have a variation. And that's the only really thing that I can think of to help you to be prepared if the day ever comes that Amazon decides to take down your product. But I don't want anyone to have a panic attack about it. We're just updating you guys.
If they will, I will return and I will help them, because there is a way. It's so complicated that I cannot.
Yeah, you don't know how to explain it. Dick is saying for £100, or £100 for 100 barcodes, and Olga is saying UK barcodes are much cheaper than the US, which we said in the beginning. We said that the German GS1 barcodes are the cheapest, and then the UK barcodes, and that they can be used worldwide. But I was just saying that I believe that the USA GS1 has updated their pricing. I could be wrong, but I use UK barcodes, and some of my friends, Amazon sellers, use GS1.
I never thought about it, but maybe we need to check if after the Brexit, the UK the UK barcode are still good. I believe they are, of course.
Yeah, I don't believe it'll have anything to do with the Brexit, because if the US has nothing to do with it. So the UK ones, they work in Australia.
They just need to have a new agreement. It's not, that's the reason. But I believe this is so basic.
Yeah, I believe it'll be fine. All right. We both have lives and we have children. It's 7:15 at night for us. And it's a holiday. It's Independence Day for us. Yeah. So thank you, everyone, for listening to us. Nir, thank you so much for being here. I would love for you to let people know how they can get in touch with you if they would like to get in touch with you.
It's really easy. You can find me. I'm not hiding. You can find me. I will even give everybody is always surprised when I'm saying I can give you my email. It's nir@market-wise, same as written here.com, or you can find me on Facebook, or you can approach Sharon, or there is a website called marketwise.com. Just if you have a problem, don't hesitate. We are really nice, and you can discuss things with us before making mistakes. It's so important, and I hope I helped today a bit.
You have helped a lot of people. And although you do have a service that, people need to pay for you to help them, you've also helped a lot of people out very quickly. Sometimes people will go to somebody else and somebody else will take, hundreds of dollars for something that really would have taken them 2 minutes to fix themselves. And what I love about you is that you're very authentic. And sometimes you'll say, look, this is like a 2-minute thing. All you need to do is ABC. You can fix it yourself. You don't need me. So you've helped me out a lot in the past. Both actually helped me out, from shitty situations, and also just being there for me when I've gone through different shit with my accounts. Because especially us people that are like me, that I sell on Amazon and I also have YouTube and blah blah. We don't always talk about the shitty stuff that happens. I don't come on. I try to talk about the shitty stuff too. But I don't always say, oh my God, I had a product taken down yesterday or anything like that. So you've always been a great support for me as well. And I appreciate you a lot.
I think it's so important not to panic, speak with somebody, not to act without thinking, not to think, if this is the last thing I would say is don't act fast. Wait, speak with somebody, or just decide if it's something you want to do right away or wait another day, because sometimes when you act fast, you're just appealing or whatever, it can be a mistake. So wait, there are many people, me and others, that will help you. They will not charge you, they will explain, just
sometimes people out of and I get it. Today, I don't panic anymore when anything happens. But even when I started, I remember, I'll never forget the first time I ever had a hijacker, or the first time I ever had, a product restricted, or things like that. And by the way, last year having my products restricted was not the first time I've had products restricted. It was just the first time I had so many products at once. Yeah. So that was one of the biggest things, and it's so important to say, and we'll leave it on that note, is that before you fuck it up and it's unfixable, speak to someone who understands. It may be a matter of like, wait a minute, don't say that in your POA, in your plan of action. Say this instead, and that's it. C'est la vie,
Yeah, it will be much cheaper if you'll not.
Yeah, not do it. Yeah. Some people are saying 10 barcodes cost $250 USD in GS1 USA, so it's UK still cheaper. 100 barcodes cost $750 USD in GS1 USA, and 150 annual renewal fee. So GS1 UK, it's, from my memory, it's 150. I actually need to pay GS1 UK right now. It's 150 pounds per year for 1,000 barcodes. So from what I know. Anyway, guys, it's enough talk about barcodes. Happy Independence Day near. Thank you to everyone that's listening to us. And Isabella will be back on Monday, and Danny will be back on Tuesday. Have a great weekend, guys. Thanks for being with us. And I will see you guys next Thursday. Bye, Nair. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.